everyone who is watching. This is Serena, and she is the CEO and founder of thriftdiving.com. And if you haven't seen any of her stuff, you really should, because this woman works magic with furniture. I just watched one of your episodes where you took that vintage, what do you call it?
The vanity?
Yes, you took the vintage vanity, and you it was all brown and it was missing some things, and you turned it pink and you refurbished the whole top, and it was beautiful.
It's lovely. You know, that project gets a lot of love on YouTube, but then there are some people who just despise pink and they hate it. And then there's the wood lovers who are just like, I can't believe you painted it. You should have refinished it. And I'm like, no, it's okay. It was literally $10 from the thrift store. It's okay. No one's gonna, no one's missing a piece of, like, it wasn't we could say it's vintage, but it was not an antique. And so, yeah, but anyway, I love doing furniture makeovers. I mean, it's just so much fun. It's creative.
How did you get started doing that?
So I'll try to make a long story short, because I love telling the story, and then I'm like, well, then I should go back and tell you this. So I have actually been blogging now for probably about 11 years, but I started blogging way before I even knew that blogging was a thing, because I'd always loved to, like, write in journals and, like, document everything. And then when I was pregnant with my first son, I had joined this online moms group. We were all due in the same month, so we were all, sharing our pregnancy journeys with one another. And someone said, hey, there's this site called blogger.com. You can do a free blog. And I thought, oh, this would be great if I'm writing in my journal. Maybe I can blog about being a first-time mom online, and I can put a password on it so nobody finds it. Little did I know that people were, like, making careers out of this. And I just wanted to document what it was like being a mom. So, and that was, I would say, probably 2006. Yeah, 2006. Well, fast forward to 2010, excuse me, we bought an old house. And I say an old house, even though 1973 is not super old compared to older homes. There was a lot of things that needed to be done. There was, like, avocado green toilets, wallpaper. It was one of those homes, when you buy a home and they say you should buy, like, the ugliest home on the block. Well, I think that's pretty much what we did. And it needed a lot of, like, updating and things. So I started researching some of these projects that I needed to do. And someone had a blog that I found where they were talking about home improvement stuff, and they were blogging about it. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm blogging about being a mom. Maybe I can blog about what we're doing in this house. So the blog was actually called, it was a free blog. And it was called rehabtofab.blogspot.com. That was the URL.
That.
And then the URL didn't even match the name, because then I called the name of the blog on the site From House to Home. And so I literally just talked about things that I was finding from the thrift store, little projects we were doing around the house. I mean, the pictures were horrible, grainy, like, I don't even know if I had a flip phone at that time, but I probably did. So the pictures were horrible. So I was actually blogging on that free site for about 2 years before I started hearing bloggers talk about making money with their blog. And I thought, are you kidding me? Like, I've been doing this for all these years and people are making money? What? So I had decided, like, literally that night when I saw another blogger write about this, I said, you know what? I need to change my name to a .com. And at this time I was going to the thrift store a lot looking for furniture, because we had moved from a 2-bedroom condo to a larger house. So, when you're doubling your space, you have to kind of double your furniture, and you don't want to spend all that money.
Yeah.
So I started finding all these things from the thrift store, and my husband would say, well, Serena, the baby, who's now 7 at the time he was a baby. Well, the baby needs fed. Where are you going? I said, I'm going thrift diving. I'll be back. I'll feed the baby when I get back. So that night when I learned that people were making money, I thought, I need a .com. And it just came to me, thrift diving, thriftdiving.com. And the URL domain name was available. And I just started finding things from the thrift store and teaching myself how to refinish furniture. Because again, we were, I say we were a young couple, we had 2 small kids, and you're not going to believe this, Brianna. 2 months after we moved in, I found out that I was pregnant with baby number 3. So in my mind, I literally was freaking out. I mean, we had one in daycare already, and I thought there's no way we're going to be able to pay for two in daycare. Plus, how are we furnishing this house? Like, how are we doing? So at this point, I really started to ramp it up with finding out how am I going to make money doing this? Because I love doing this. I'm not happy working outside of the home. I was a project manager at the time. How am I going to do this? And so I just started spending all my evenings and weekends just learning how to build an email list and how to make your blog user friendly and how do you make your pictures look nice? Anytime I had spare time, I was always figuring out how to make this more of like a business. So that is still the long story, but I feel like that's my story. Like that, I have to tell you that whole journey because it doesn't make sense to just say, oh, this is what I do, but how did it actually get here?
You had a reason. And honestly, I love it when there is like that core at home to why you start something is that passion of wanting to be with your babies and
yes.
make it at home and then be successful because obviously we all want to be successful.
Right.
But that's an amazing story. And so how old are your kiddos now? 7 and?
Well, I've got a 7-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 13-year-old.
Oh, fun ages.
Yes. Yes. And the horrible thing is that none of them are really interested in any of this that I do. They're interested in playing video games. And so they're like, Mommy, help me start a YouTube channel because they know I've got subscribers and things. So they want my expertise in that kind of way. But in terms of learning to use tools, they're not interested in doing that. And another part of my story that I didn't share that I think is pretty important is, I was doing this after hours. So a lot of times once I'd come home, get the kids ready for bed. Thankfully, my husband loves to cook. So he would do that. We get the kids in bed. I was literally working from like 9 till 2 in the morning. I was doing projects, writing blog posts, editing videos, and all of this while working outside of the home. Well, the end of 2014, I decided, okay, 2015, my middle son will be starting school. So I'm going to make a goal to go full time August of 2015. Well, I actually got fired from my job in January of 2015. My supervisor and I, we butt heads. I knew that she didn't like me. And so I knew she was trying to get rid of me.
That's tough.
And so when she did, I literally went home and I threw my hands up and I was like, yes, I don't have to go back there. I'm not kidding you. I came home and I was happy. I had freedom, and the thing is that it was 7 months earlier than when I had planned because I just opened up a savings account that was going to be my work from home, transitional fund. So it came a lot sooner. My husband was not really on board. He really wanted me to go and get a 9-to-5, but I said, I think that I can do this. Give me 3 months and let me prove. And I don't know what happened, but it's like when I lost my job, everything just flourished. It was so strange, like the opportunities that started to come my way. And I started making it. So my income started going up. And now I'm at a point where I make about 3 times as much as I did when I worked outside of the home.
Right.
And this is from, setting my own schedule and being able to dictate who I work with and how I do it. And so there's a freedom in that you just don't get when you're working a 9-to-5. So
that's huge.
I love that.
That is so inspirational. Honestly, there's so many people who I have myself probably 10 different side hustles. But it's because and you have to work after hours to get to the top of what you're trying to do.
Yes.
I absolutely, my gig is social media, and then I'm a wedding DJ. I'm also a TV pop artist. So
that's awesome.
There's lots of different things, and you have to work after hours, put in the work, to get there. What to this day, what do you think your favorite piece is that you've done?
Oh God. Well, I've got a lot of them. Because I look at it this way, like what is the project that I'm most proud of? Like maybe I challenge myself the most. And then there's one where I think maybe it's the most creative. I'll give you 2 actually, because there's 2 that come to mind. The project that I feel is the most creative it was a toddler bed that, did I get it? I don't know if I got it from a thrift store, but I remember wanting to take it to the thrift store when my youngest had outgrown it. But the thing is it was kind of rickety. Like, I don't know if the screws were falling out. And so I had put it into the back of my van. And I thought, they're not going to take it. They're going to send me away with this. Let me just take it out and I'll figure out what to do. So as I took this toddler bed out, they have the little rails on the side. I set it up into an upright position and I thought, oh, that looks like it could be like a little bench or something, like maybe a gardening bench, but it's a little too short. So I decided to build a platform for it and get some boards to set across the top. And I actually made like a little gardening bench. It's on my patio right now. We've had it for a couple of years and
Wow.
It has not fallen apart. The paint is still sticking on it, which is insane. And I feel like it's the most creative thing that I've done because, it wasn't something that I had a plan to do. I just, in that moment, just putting it in a different way, positioning it, sparked these ideas. And so a lot of times when I tell people about trying to come up with creative ideas, because sometimes people think they're not creative, I always tell them, if you were to take this object and turn it on its side or in a different direction, what does it remind you of? If you were to make it taller or make it shorter, what other ways could you use it if it was shorter or taller? Wow. So by asking yourself the right questions, you could really start to generate a lot of different ideas. And so that I would say is my most creative project. My most challenging project that I'm proud of is when I built a vanity for my bathroom, my master bathroom.
Oh my goodness.
I'd never built anything of this. Like I'd never built furniture that it was going to be used daily in my home in this kind of way. And the legs, it was very interesting. The legs I actually found at a salvage shop. And I had stripped them, cut them to the length that I needed. And then I had no plans at all. I just developed, as I went along, this vanity that's been in my bathroom now for almost 3 years, and it has not cracked. It's not fallen down. I was so afraid, Brianna, that this thing would like last 6 months and then just cave in on itself.
Oh, no.
Oh, so even now to this day, if I see my kids try to lean up on it, how kids are when they're in the bathroom, I'll say, hey, don't do that. Like, just want to make sure that this thing lasts. But that's the project that was most challenging. And I learned a lot. So, I always challenge people to challenge themselves. If there's a project that you've never done before, don't say I can't do it. Spend some time researching upfront. There was a lot of times when I would go to Home Depot and I would just look at the vanities there and just take pictures. How are they putting this together? And then I would come home and try that for my vanity. And, it's not perfect. It's, it's got its little, quirks here and there, but it's fully functional. Like it's beautiful. And the finish that I did, I mean, it's my most proud project that I've done.
Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. Well, I don't build things and I'm very creative, but I think I'm going to try.
Hey, you're a DJ. You know how to get the party. You're a DJ. You know how to get the party started. Okay. There is an art to that and being able to mix songs.
Yeah.
Art is different. There's many different versions of art.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not so hot with some tools, but I haven't practiced. My fiance is really great with tools and he can go around the house and do whatever. I'm one of those people when I like hang a painting, I'm so creative that I don't level it. It drives people with OCD crazy. I literally eyeball it and it turns out just fine, but yeah.
See, but there's the creativity. See, you have the eye for it, knowing where it's going to be and if it's going to be level and all that. Some people can't even do that.
It works. Whatever works. So you have an insane following on your social media and specifically your YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get to where you are right now with your followers? How did you entice them to subscribe? I mean, obviously you have extremely interesting content, but was there something that people who are trying to start the same kind of gig that you are doing, that you've built for yourself, is there a trick or art, not really a trick, but is there an art to the form of getting subscribers? There was a blog that I was reading some time ago, and I remember this was a blog. Now I don't have time to read blogs, but at the time there was a successful blogger that I was reading, and I remember she would write some of these posts and things about how to get subscribers and how to build your blog and all of that. And so she talked about a couple of things, and I remember looking at that, looking for like
the secret, what are those things, those key ingredients? And I remember her mentioning, she's like, yes, and then the secret sauce is you. And I remember thinking, I was like, come on, it's not me. It's not me. Like, there's got to, like, tell me exactly what is, is there a tool you're using? Like, what is it that you're doing?
Yeah.
And I remember just thinking, like, that's a load of crap. But as I got further along, I realized it really is you. Like, you could learn how to put, let's say, a channel together and put a blog together and know where to put your email sign up. And, you can test those things. But really, it does come down to you. People, when they tune in, they actually want to see what Brianna's doing. They want to see what Serena's doing. Because for me, I think what worked is that there's an authenticity about what I do that people can identify with, because I never come from the place of I'm the expert and I'm going to show you how to do it. I come from the place of, hey, we're going to do this project today, and shoot, I accidentally put the wrong fabric on this chair that I'm reupholstering. I took the seat fabric and I put it on the back. Oh, I believe I did that.
You so much in that vanity video. You literally looked and you were like, well, there's chippings on this, the lining is gone. You literally said, I have no idea what I'm going to do.
Yes, exactly. And so that I think people identify with that when you come from a place where they can see themselves, like, okay, maybe I painted this and it doesn't look good. Let me start over because I don't think I like. People feel comfortable with that, because what I discovered is that people want to be creative, but they don't have the confidence to get started, or maybe they have experience painting, but they've always wanted to learn to use tools. But again, it comes down to confidence. So if you can give people the confidence, and if they see me as someone who's got skill, who has kind of taught herself along the way, and I run into a roadblock, but I don't let that stop me, that gives them motivation to think, okay, well, if Serena can keep going, I can keep going. So I think that I have built my audience just by being myself and not coming from a, like, I know everything and I'm just here to teach you. And I also don't come from just like a strictly entertainment. There are, and sometimes this is where I struggle sometimes, because I know that there are videos on YouTube that are more, I want to say maybe more curated. They've got the music and they've got, different camera angles. I don't really do all that stuff. I mean, it would be nice, but I come from just, hey, I'm in my garage or my driveway. This is what I'm working on. We're going to try this out. I'm not sure if it's going to work, or, you know what, I did this, but maybe next time I think I'll do this, and I think they appreciate that more. And the teaching of what I learned along the way, they appreciate that more than just being entertained. Like, this is not just HGTV where, I show you, look at this great project that I did, and you see the fast moving, but you don't really learn anything from it. The three words that I use to kind of guide my channel and my blog and what I do is create, inspire, and teach. So everything that I do really has to hit on those three things. It has to be creative. I have to inspire you, and I have to teach you. So you're never going to see me doing something that's just, hey, look how great this looks, and I'm just showing off to you. It's like, oh, this is what I learned, and you're going to get some value from that. So because I think I've positioned myself in that kind of way, people see that and they like what I do, and I motivate them to get up and do it themselves. That, I think, is how my following has grown. So I think that if I can just stay true to that, I don't really care how quickly I grow, as long as those people that appreciate that are the ones that are attracted to me.
Right.
So,
well,
yep.
We're attracted to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We are big fans. In fact, the director of The Gig Life, Shiley, and she loves your work. Like, she follows you almost every day.
Awesome.
And she is a huge fan as well. So,
oh, that's so cool.
Yes.
I love that.
So last but not least, and you've given tidbits throughout this entire thing, so I think followers are just going to understand exactly where you're coming from and how to get started. But if there was one key piece of advice that you could offer other giggers who are like finding their side hustle, who want to do this full time, who are trying, they're struggling, they're up until 4 o'clock in the morning, trying to work on this craft, what piece of advice would you give them?
I would say the most important thing is to focus on your passion. and don't focus so much on the money. And the reason why is because when I look back, like if I look at a graph of how my channel or how my blog has grown, you'll see probably for the first several years, I mean, the line barely moved. I mean, it really did, it just barely moved. And so it's really funny when I think about the videos that I was putting out before anybody was really even watching. Like maybe it would have had a couple thousand views, and I'm like, okay, well, it was, so for me, it wasn't like, oh my gosh, I need to make this money. It was just, I love doing this and I'm going to keep doing this because I love it. So I would tell people is focus on the passion, because when you focus so much on the money isn't going to come right away. And if the money doesn't come right away, you're more likely to kind of scrap that and go look for the next money earning thing, which may or may not be what you're passionate about. So focus on what you're passionate about and do it regardless of who's following you and who's watching and who's looking, because eventually if you then take that passion and you learn those social media things, or find like your true message or what makes you really unique, just keep doing it. Just keep being you and keep doing it. I don't want to say every day, because I know like Gary Vaynerchuk, and I'm sure he would hustle. You got to hustle, but don't wear yourself out. Just do it because you love it. Yep. And then figure out how to make money doing something that you love and follow that passion. And if you don't have the passion for it, eventually, even if you make money at it, the money's not going to matter, because you're going to hate getting up every day to do that. For me, I love getting up every day knowing that I'm doing something that I love. And what's great is once you position yourself in such a way that, okay, you're earning a little bit of money, then you can start to grow a little bit. Like right now, I'm enrolled in a carpentry program. Yes, so I'm actually in a 2-year carpentry program at my community college, because I've gotten to the point where I can position myself that now I'm making a little bit of money, but now I can venture out into doing something else that I'm passionate about that will kind of feed into the blog and the YouTube. So, stick with those things that you're passionate about, that you've always wanted to learn, and where you can really connect with people. And I think if you focus on that, the money just automatically comes, because people are just going to be like, here, let me just give you money because I love what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? The money will come. The money will come, but you have to be passionate about what you're doing, and you have to keep doing it even when nobody's looking. You just have to keep going.
Oh, I would say. I am right there. I am right there with you.
Yes.
And it's paid off for you big time, and we are so happy for you, because you are inspirational. We really love your channel.
Thank you. That means a lot.
With an S.
Thank you.
I hope this will not be our last time interviewing you on The Gig Life. It's been such an honor to talk with you. And thank you so much for joining us today, Serena.
Yeah, and if people want to follow me, they can go to my blog. They can go to thriftdiving.com. I'm also on all the social medias at Thrift Diving, and they can join my channel. Go to Thrift Diving on YouTube, and I usually put up probably one video a week. But there's like at least 120 good videos on the channel they can start watching, and sign up for my email list.
Sign up for her email list. I know I'm doing that right now. I'm pretty sure the rest of our team has signed up. I'm going to do that right now.
Please do.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Serena, and we love you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.